Kumo Tires, official partner of AutoGP.
Welcome to the Zeltwig circuit in Austria. It is the Red Bull Ring, and it is the 6th round of the 2014 AutoGP World Series. Jake Sanson here, talking you through the action on this magnificent circuit, which has had so much hard work done to it from the boys and girls at Red Bull, and boy doesn't it look good nowadays. Fresh off the back of its Formula One Grand Prix, it now plays host to the AutoGP World Series. A very close battle in the early stages, but it's all about Kimiya Sato, isn't it? The 6th round of the AutoGP World Series at the Red Bull Ring. Who is going to get the jump to the first corner? Kimiya Sato, Thomas Paukis, Shinya Michimi and Kevin Giovesi as the front two rows of the grid. Andrea Roda and Michele Cerutti, who won last time out at Imola, will be wanting another victory. We'll find out how things go as they get ready for the start here in the AutoGP World Series. Lights come on, wait for it. Lights out, we're racing at the Red Bull Ring. Brilliant start from Thomas Paukis as he gets the jump on Kimiya Sato, and it looks like Kevin Giovesi has gone through as well to try and get round the outside of Thomas Paukis into the first corner. There's contact. Who's that that's gone around? Oh dear, that's the 88 of Cerutti. Cerutti doesn't look like she's going to get a rerun of Imola this time round. Certainly not in race one. Cerutti gets spun around. Giovesi is already stepping up the attack to go round the outside of Kimiya Sato into the Remus hairpin. Round the outside, he's still there. Oh, it's getting a little bit messy, and there's nowhere that Kimiya Sato can go but into the back. Fortunately, it doesn't look like there's any damage to speak of. Marcus Pommer's got a good start, up to 6th position already. Giovesi trying to go round the outside of Thomas Paukis again. The Hungarian putting him in the right part of the racetrack, round the outside. No, sir, you want to get this lead, you're going to have to go the long way round to get by. And he's put him very nicely indeed on the outside line. Giovesi tries again, can't quite find the way through. Still trying to put him under pressure in this first lap, through Ralph and into the Berth curve. And it's looking like Thomas Paukis has already got a very smart strategy in this one. Keep Giovesi back until the pit stops and let the rest of the race flow from there. Lap 1 of 23, and it's looking like it's Thomas Paukis, the Hungarian, who has got the best possible getaway ahead of Kevin Giovesi. Third is Kimiya Sato, and things couldn't really be going much better at this particular point in time. So at the end of the first lap, Kimiya Sato is actually looking like he's under pressure in 3rd position. Yellow flag still, so Cerutti out of the race by the look of it. Andrea Roda trying to come past Sato. Michimi, Pommer, oh, and that's running wide there. That looks like Michimi's gone a little bit wide. And in the Zelle racing car then, the number 8, that is von Groningen. Interesting to see that Thomas Paukis, who leads this race, was at Zelle Racing just last time out at Monza, last time out at Imola, and now he's joined a new team. He's joined Virtuosi for the rest of the season by the look of things, and it certainly seems to have done the trick because he's now with a new team that he can feel good with. Let's have a look at the start again. Lightning getaway from Thomas Paukis. Giovesi there as well. Looks like the right side of the grid was the one to be on. Giovesi almost managed to get round the outside of Thomas Paukis in the first corner. Let's have a look. Who tipped Cerutti into a spin? Oh dear, now that on the inside line, tipping him into a spin there, I think that was actually Cipriani. So Giovesi round the outside of the Virtuosi of Thomas Paukis, almost getting it right, but he had to slam on the brakes, and Kimiya Sato so close to going in the back. Now, it looks like Sato has decided to pit early here. So Kimiya Sato sat in 3rd position, 4th position. He realizes, I've got to pit now. This is the only way I can make the break. So he decides to pit early, and that could be the smart call. So once again, Shinya Michimi closing up to the back of Christoph von Groningen as they are now to 4th position. So one of the drivers in front of them has also pitted along with Kimiya Sato. I couldn't quite see who it was. I'm wondering if it might have been Roda who pitted in. So von Groningen is still trying to hold off the attentions of Shinya Michimi, who must be getting so frustrated, sat in 5th position, although a couple of laps ago, of course, it was 7th position. Having got 3rd position on the grid. It seemed that everybody on the left side of the grid on the run to the first corner got a terrible, terrible start. And everyone on the right really got the benefits of it. Tamas Palkis, Kevin Giovese, initially Michele Cerutti as well, before getting tipped into a spin, I think, by Giuseppe Cipriani, the number 7 in the Ibiza racing car. And it looks to me as though the battle for 4th position has just shaped up a little bit. Von Groningen goes a little bit wide at the final corner, and Shinya Michimi picks up the pieces. Thank you very much indeed. I'll move up to 4th place again, and Von Groningen will be disappointed about that. So Palkis is leading, Giovese is 2nd, Roda is 3rd. So Michimi up to 4th, ahead of Von Groningen, La Rosa and Cipriani. Here's how he did it. Nice move there from Michimi. Just taking advantage of a mistake there from Von Groningen. Nothing really he could do about it. He just has to gather himself together and get back on with it. So Kevin Giovese right on the back of Tamas Palkis still. Kimiya Sato choosing that moment to take his pit stop early. Andrea Roda is still out there in 3rd position. So Marcus Pommer and Kimiya Sato both deciding to pit early. That could pay dividends to them later on, because we've seen several times in AutoGP in the past that it's the right call, because we've seen so many drivers pitting early and then getting themselves into clean space, clean air, and they're able to do wonders with it. Roda sets the fastest lap. Still very early days, of course, here. Michimi in 3rd. Von Groningen is 4th from La Rosa. Cipriani. Then we have the 11 of Tamas Palkis. So he got out onto the circuit, we think, just in front of Kimiya Sato. Now that is crucial, and the battle is really going to be between them as we come through. We'll have to double check that, but Pommer again on another new fastest lap, a 121.4. So he is really rocketing around this circuit very nicely indeed. Down the stretch to the Rindt corner once more. And Kevin Giovese is under serious pressure from Roda. Neither of them choosing to pit on this occasion. Roda wants to get Giovese on the road, and Giovese does not want to let him through. It's going to be who blinks first in terms as to who gets the first pit stop of these two, the mandatory pit stop. Out of the first corner once again, Giovese looking a little bit more sensible this time. He goes quicker than Roda on that last lap by 1/10 of a second, and that's going to pay dividends. Michimi is setting a similar pace to the leader Giovese, keeping that gap down to 4.7 seconds. You can't really afford to lose much more than that. And we wait to see if Roda is going to be able to get close enough again to make a move. 4/10 of a second between them again as they come through, so literally hundredths of a second between them in that last lap. Here's a replay of Giovese, and whoa, Roda very nearly losing everything. That has got to be the save of the race in this battle with Kevin Giovese. Andrea Roda, massive oversteer off the corner. He just planted the throttle a little bit too early, got up on the curbs, and Remus is a cruel corner. It can spit you out into the wall if you're not careful. And Andrea Roda had to be on his toes there. That will have cost him 2 or 3/10 of a second, which could be the difference between a podium finish and 4th place here. Kevin Giovese and Andrea Roda yet to pit, of course, but they're both going to have to fairly soon. So Giovese and Roda, once again, the battle between them, 6/10 of a second at the moment. Giovese on a 121.9, that's his quickest lap for a long, long time. And the only person going quicker than that at the moment is Marcus Pommer. So Giovese has responded to the pressure from Roda and opened up the gap another 1/10 or 2. While Michimi is struggling to keep up, and Von Groningen has done another good lap, a 121.9, and here he is closing up on Michimi, braking very late for Remus. So easy to get your braking point wrong for that hairpin, and it will ruin your entire lap as a result. And we almost saw what happened with Roda losing the car out of the back of the exit of the corner, sorry, last lap around. Von Groningen now 4/10 of a second on Michimi. He seems to have found an extra gear, and he's going for it again. But the problem is for Von Groningen is he's losing time to the men behind him while he sits here behind Shinya Michimi. He's going to finish up in about 6th or 7th place overall if he continues to sit behind Michimi. If he can get past him, he needs to find a way to get past and pull away. But at the moment between these two in 3rd and 4th place, it appears to be stalemate. There's not much either of them can do about it. Michimi trying to close up on Giovese and Roda and get away from Von Groningen, but it's pretty even Stevens at the moment between these two. La Rosa is a full 7 seconds back from these two. Michimi 5 seconds off the leader. Giovese is your leader. Roda second, 4/10 of a second back. Roda has now got a new faster lap in than the leader, a 1:21.8. Again, only the drivers who have already pitted, and well, Giovese slightly slower than that, but it looks to me as though Roda's really stepping up the game again. He's seen Giovese get a quick lap in, and he knows that he's got to go for it here. So I would suspect that Roda is really going to have a bit of a mission here as they come through.
Kumho Tires, official partner of AutoGP. Kumho Tires, official partner of AutoGP.
Giovese has made his pit stop, so you're looking at the leader, Shinya Michimi, just in front of von Groningen as they continue their battle, which is now a battle for the lead. They have yet to make their mandatory pit stop. Neither has Michele La Rosa in third place. Everybody else has made their mandatory pit stop, and crucially, as Shinya Michimi makes his pit stop, crucially, Andrea Roda did beat Kevin Giovese out of the pits. So Roda decided, I'm quicker than Giovese, I'm going to get one over on him on the pit stops, and he managed to do so. And even more impressively, Roda and Giovese managed to get out between Tamas Palkis and Pommer, which means that somewhere on the circuit, we didn't see it, but Kamiya Sato managed to make the move on Tamas Palkis. Now that is crucial, because when these guys finish their pit stops, Michimi, von Groningen and La Rosa, Sato is effectively going to be the race leader. Now, I wish we could have seen where Kamiya Sato got past Tamas Palkis, because that is a race-winning move. Here comes the leading bunch, effectively. And Michimi is going to get out behind Marcus Pommer, so that's going to effectively put him 6th position. The big question now is, where is von Groningen, the new leader, the Swiss driver, going to get out? Is he going to be able to get out in front of Shinya Michimi or not? That's going to be very interesting to see. Giuseppe Cipriani has pitted and rejoined in 9th position ahead of De Plano. And here is your leader. Sorry, no, that is the 99 of De Plano, who is just pitting in. I apologise, it looked to me to be Kevin Giovese for a moment, but of course they are both in the same team. So Salvatore De Plano makes his pit stop from 10th position. He's not quite got up to speed in this car yet. As through comes your leader, von Groningen in the number 8 Zelle racing car, which just last time out he was teammates with Tamas Palkis. Now he's racing against him, as it were, although a lot of drivers will say the first person they're trying to beat is their teammate. But this is the man who is trying to put himself in the top 5 overall against these guys. Kamiya Sato, Tamas Palkis. Then it is Andrea Roda in 3rd position. That is crucial, ahead of Kevin Giovese and ahead of Marcus Pommer. So Andrea Roda, they actually got the pit stop absolutely spot on, and I thought Marcus Pommer had made a bit more of an advantage on the rest of the field than he had. Kamiya Sato, new fastest lap, 1:21.2. And that's what you can do when you don't have traffic in front of you, when you don't have Tamas Palkis in front of you. He has been the fastest man all weekend, but off the start, it was very much Tamas Palkis who was in the box seat to win. But Kamiya Sato has found his way through, and when von Groningen and La Rosa make their pit stops, Kamiya Sato is looking for his 5th win of the season. After wins at Marrakesh, Imola, and 2 at Hungaroring, he's looking for win number 5 to take him 1 step closer to the championship. 25 points for a win in race 1 and 20 for a win in race 2. 2 points for pole position, which he's got, and a fastest lap in each race, 1 point. So he could be on for the maximum 28 points here. He hasn't got a pole position yet this season until this weekend. And now he's got the fastest lap. So Kamiya Sato could be on course for the full 28 points from race 1. It is not something anybody has done so far this season. Marcus Pommer has come close with a pole position and a race win at Monza. But that's the closest anybody has come to getting 28 points out of 28 in race 1. Nobody else has managed that. Kamiya Sato out in front. Tamas Palkis effectively in second place. Von Groningen has made his pit stop now, so there's only Michele La Rosa out in front. So in effect, that leaves Sato leading from Tomas Palkis, Andrea Roda, Kevin Giovese and Marcus Pommer, with Shinya Michimi in the 77 desperately trying to catch up with this top 5, but they're still fairly evenly paced. It's all going to be about who's looked after their tyres in the last 6 laps of the race, and it is down to the last 6 laps. Sato, Tomas Palkis, Andrea Roda, Kevin Giovese and Marcus Pommer as they battle for the victory, and it looks like any one of these 5 drivers could still put up a challenge to Kimiya Sato. Any one of these 4 drivers training Sato at least could put up a challenge to him if he hasn't looked after his tyres very well. And there's still 2 spaces on the podium that have not yet been decided. Tomas Palkis and Andrea Roda are not far from it, but it's not decided yet. They've still got to keep pushing hard. And Tomas Palkis is looking a little bit hairy through some of the corners. He almost lost it into the Red Bull Mobile. The car was very jittery on the turn-in, so he's not quite secure yet. Andrea Roda is actually putting in some very good times here. So everybody else is on 121s, and it's time to see if Kimiya Sato can run through to the victory here. So we wait to see Michele La Rosa make his pit stop, and then that will hand the lead of the race back to Kimiya Sato. In fact, there he is on the left of your picture. Into the pits comes La Rosa, so Sato retakes the lead. Tomas Palkis is now second from Andrea Roda, his teammate, in 3rd position. And it's going to be these 2 who are going to have to try and fend off the rest. So it looks like it's going to be a Euronova victory from Virtuosi in 2nd and 3rd, with Kevin Giovese's FMS car in 4th position ahead of the Supernova of Marcus Pommer. But 2nd down to 5th is separated at the moment by just 2 seconds. It is so close. And 2nd position still not decided yet. It's all going to be about tyre management for these guys. Who has looked after their tyres well? Of course, we have to remember that Tomas Palkis pitted relatively early, although not as early as Kimiya Sato and Marcus Pommer, so that could end up playing a factor in the last couple of laps. Andrea Roda and Kevin Giovese have fairly new tyres by comparison. They've just got to keep them going as much as physically possible. So through they come into the Worth curve once again on the run down to Rindt, which caused so much controversy in the Formula 1 a couple of weeks ago for the white lines and track limits, etc, etc, etc. But no such issues for the AutoGP boys at the moment. Kimiya Sato trying his best to stretch the lead, and he pulls off another quick time. Yes, he does. 1:21.5 on that particular occasion. 3 to go. And it's all going to be about Kimiya Sato hanging on to the lead here. He's got enough of a gap, 2.7 seconds. He just needs to look after it, basically. No pressure, really, for him, other than just bringing it home, in effect. Tomas Palkis and Andrea Roda. Roda has suddenly decided, hang on a minute, I'm quicker than my teammate here. I might be able to move up into 2nd place here. I wonder if there are any team orders at Virtuosi. Tomas Palkis and Andrea Roda battling for 2nd position. 4th is Giovese, 5th is Pommer. It looks to me as though Giovese is having to go on the defensive mode as well. Roda is having a look at his teammate, Tomas Palkis, and that was a bit of a hairy moment for Tomas. He suddenly realised that he's got quite a bit of a problem here. Andrea Roda putting him under some serious pressure as through again to the Rauch corner and in through Worth curve. Andrea Roda is deciding, hang on a minute, I'm not going to settle for 2nd place, actually. I'm quicker than my teammate, Tomas Palkis. He's a newbie to the team. I'm going to assert myself. I'm the #1 in this team. As Marcus Pommer has a look at Kevin Giovese, trying to put him under pressure. This is what we were talking about. It's these last 3 laps or so where who has looked after their tyres best becomes the critical factor. Giovese runs a little bit wide on the curve at Red Bull Mobile, and this could be exactly what Marcus Pommer has been waiting for. He's had to climb from the back of the grid, of course, after not getting a decent time in a 2nd qualifying yesterday. And a big wobble for Giovese. He knows he's under pressure here from Marcus Pommer. So the Supernova driver is starting to step up the attack, and it could be a bit of a battle royale for this last lap and a half. Into Remus. And again, the Hungarian Tomas Palkis holds his teammate Andrea Roda off. Giovese desperately trying to get on the power to get away from Marcus Pommer, and he looks to have done a fairly good job of that off the corner. But Andrea Roda, again, just having a look on the inside of the Hungarian teammate, Tamás Pálkis, but he's not really having a proper go. I think he wants to pressurize the Hungarian into a mistake. He's popping on the inside and saying, come on, Tamás, put your foot down, get away from me, otherwise I'm coming through. And Tamás Pálkis has now got the duty to respond here and try and pull away, but they're mapping each other, they're matching each other for lap times. Fastest man on the track is Kimi Sato. He's getting away from this pack, so he's actually been able to look after his tyres relatively well just by sitting on the back of Tamás Pálkis for the majority of the race and then making the move when it was necessary to. So a great conservative drive in the early stages from Kimi Sato, and then striking while the iron was hot, so to speak. Andrea Roda heads into the final lap quicker than his teammate Tamás Pálkis. We go into the final lap here at the Red Bull Ring, and a big moment for Tamás Pálkis. He knows he's under pressure from Andrea Roda, and he almost runs wide at the first corner. Giovesi's got a good lap in to go quicker than Pommer by 0.2 of a second. That could have secured fourth place for him at this point, but second is still very much up for dispute here between the virtuosi teammates Tamás Pálkis and Andrea Roda, and while they scrap for position, Giovesi and Pommer still have an opportunity to get onto the podium. Kimi Sato there in front of them, looking good for victory at the moment on the final lap here at the Red Bull Ring, and Roda, I think that was his best chance to get through and he didn't take it. He wasn't close enough. Giovesi and Pommer fourth and fifth. Still the last few corners, anything can be won or lost in these last few corners here at the Red Bull Ring, and it's all going to come down to who has looked after the tyres best, who has got the most concentration, who wants it more. And of course they've got to be conservative to a certain degree because they've got a second race later on. They don't want to go for a banzai manoeuvre on the last lap and wreck it all, and it looks like everybody's going to be sensible and go for the position they've got. Pommer has a little look on the inside of Giovesi, it does no good, and Kimi Sato comes out of the final turn and wins race one at the Red Bull Ring. Great drive for Kimi Sato, very smart thinking and great win on the strategy. Tamás Pálkis holds off Andrea Roda for second place. Third is Roda, fourth is Giovesi, from Pommer in fifth. It's going to be Michimi who comes home in sixth, ahead of von Groningen. Seventh position von Groningen, then eighth is La Rosa, ninth Cipriani, 10th is De Plano, and sadly Michele Cerutti didn't even get past the first corner before being tagged into a spin. So what a drive then from Kimi Sato, very nicely done, good thinking, used the tyre strategy well, and that gives him his fifth win of the season, and his fans will be delighted to hear he picked up fastest lap in the process, I do believe. So Kimi Sato gets 28 points out of a possible 28 points. Very nicely done. Marcus Pommer overtaking his rivals on the last lap. Couldn't do it in the race, so why not do it on the victory lap? I want to get home quickly and debrief and get things sorted for race two. But Kimi Sato will be very happy with that. GP2 can wait for a little while. Kimi Sato has a championship to win in the AutoGP World Series, and that is the best way to get closer to it. Fifth win of the season, maximum points. Pole position, fastest lap, and a brilliant race victory. That puts him one step closer, of course, and the rest of the field are left scratching their heads, wondering what they do about the second race later on. So there's your results then. Kimi Sato from Tamás Pálkis, Andrea Roda in third, Giovesi in fourth position from Pommer, Michimi, von Groningen, La Rosa, with Cipriani, De Plano, and retirement in Michele Cerutti. Great race in the Red Bull Ring, and a good drive from Kimi Sato, one step closer to the championship trophy, his fifth win of the season, and it's all going to come down to what he can do now in race two. Can he make it a double win for the second time this year? So the celebrations can now begin here at the Red Bull Ring for Euronova. Virtuosi getting some useful points there, though, for second and third position in the team's championship. So Virtuosi get closer to Euronova. Supernova not having the best of weekends so far, with a fifth place finish for Pommer and not much from Cerutti at all. And that means that the team's championship is going to get closer and closer. But Kimi Sato, very happy indeed with the victory, and he's made it look fairly easy today, it has to be said. Certainly in race one. Race two might be a different story. There he is. Kimi Sato, very happy with that one. And a great performance. Race two is later on this afternoon, with great action promising here at the Red Bull Ring.
Kumo Tires, official partner of AutoGP.